Okay, so we got the green flag. Green means she on go. Everything's good.
Everything's going.
She on the right path to be cuffable.
You hear that?
Shout out to the green.
You hear that? If you want to be cuffed,
shout out to the green.
You gotta
gang.
stay in that green.
you don't want to. Hey, you got to. Hey, before you go on, okay, green is on go. That means you're on track to be cuffable, meaning you're on track to be becoming courted and on track to be in a relationship. A lot of the women who may be listening to this, some of those who may be engaging with now, are probably asking themselves, "What color and flag am I?" Be careful.
Don't ask me.
Be careful for what you're asking for, because you may find yourself not on the green. And be prepared for the evaluation.
What's going on, gentlemen? How we
We
feeling?
back at it.
You're
Hey, I'm already loving this season already, man. That's why I had that little smile, man. I'm loving the season already.
Bro, I'm still stuck on that conversation from the last episode.
Yeah.
Hey.
Honestly, on the table,
Man, let's dive
Yeah,
in.
start charging.
where our mission is to cultivate a space
Little Ivan the console.
where vulnerability, transparency, and humble curiosity serve as our healthy roots for individual and collective progress. Gentlemen, let's continue to build.
All right. The power of consistent inconsistency.
Ooh.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
The power of consistent inconsistency. All right. So what's important here is that, number one, you got to understand the nature of the woman. All right. And what you understand about the nature of the woman is that it cannot be understood.
Hey, period.
That's it.
Period.
That's it. Right there. Right there.
It's like water.
It flows. It changes.
It flows.
It
The list is
changes.
fluid. Did you see what I
Right?
said?
So when you understand that the woman is fluid and she goes based on how she feels rather than what the logic may actually be, there becomes a science to being inconsistently consistent. Mm-hmm. And so what I mean by that is that when you understand that the woman throughout where we are right now, they like to put in work. They like to put in effort. That's why they going to school. That's why they working these particular jobs, making six figures. Congratulations, it's major. We appreciate that. But one of the core aspects of that is that the woman understands is that she has to earn her keep, right? And so when you look at the school system, right, she goes to school for 4 years, right, she gets a degree. She goes to school for her doctorate, she gets her doctorate. She enters the workforce to get six figures. She's able to buy her car. The woman is constantly in a system where she is rewarding herself. So what the man has to do is understand that your woman by nature likes to be rewarded because she likes to earn her keep. So the way that you apply this principle of being consistently inconsistent is that you show the woman not necessarily the best of you, but you show her a different version of you where she has to earn their right to be with you in that particular dynamic of that relationship. Mm-hmm. So when you approach the dynamic and your woman already understands that you get into the paper, she already understands that you are fulfilling your purpose. She understands that that is first and foremost, that your relationship with the Most High, with God, the Creator, is the first and foremost relationship, and you start there from the outset. Now you set a precedent in her mind to where she's not expecting for you to call her every night. She's not expecting for you to text her every night. She understands, oh, he working. And then when you can show proof, of your commitment to whatever your craft is, that plays into giving you that ability, that room to where you can roam and be consistently inconsistent. Because now she sees that you being focused on your purpose allows you to be in a position to where you could do these type of things for her, and now she connected with you on a different level. So then as she starts to see and vie for your time, now she's like, okay, dang, you kind of checking in a little bit on me. She thinking about you because you're not hitting her up every night. So now you let a couple days go by. Now you on her mind. So she texting you like, I'm thinking about you. I hope everything's okay. You want anything to eat? These little small little gestures are only coming about because you are being inconsistent, and most importantly, you are being consistent on your purpose. And then as time goes on and that woman proves herself to you because she's earning her keep. She's not going out necessarily dating multiple people. She's staying focused on you. She's just staying focused on building herself, preparing herself for you. She's excited about Friday night. So even though you've been working from Monday up until Friday when you see her, because you applied the principle of being consistently inconsistent, you put her in a position where she's not even worried about what you're doing because she know that you focus on your purpose, you're making the money, and when you see her, it's up. It's a reward.
Every link is
every time.
every link is a reward.
So that is the power of being consistently inconsistent. You just putting your woman on a reward program that's based on you fulfilling your purpose. Just like going to go get a degree. That's
You
it.
earn the points and
So-
take that flight.
So what would be the rewards in the beginning? Just say you say you're a woman, but let's just start from a dating standpoint.
Okay. So if it's the initial dating phase, she has to get used to my schedule. Okay. And I'm interested. Man, listen. She saw when I pressed up on her, I'm interested in you. It's a good vibe. It's a good energy. You know, I think that this can go to another level. Or maybe it could. And so what I started to do in that type of context is that, number one, after establishing that initial communication and the correspondence with that body language, and I'm seeing what the flow and the energy is, like I mentioned last time, I set up the play. I'm already setting up, this is our date. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. This is what I like to do. And ordinarily, I like to do things outdoors. That's just me personally. I like ATVs. I like dirt bike riding. I like, even if it's like going to the pool, I like to do things that are outside. So that first time that we connect, I've already set up a place, so I gave you something to look forward to, the reward. But in the midst of me telling you that this is what we're looking forward to, I'm giving you the lay of the land on what I have to deal with leading up to that point. And so by me giving her the lay of the land of what I got to deal with leading up to that point, there's an expectation of her not expecting me to be hitting her every single day. So then I check in, I tap in, we laugh, voice memo, record, send this, send that. It's chill. There's no pressure. Because I never want to create a situation where the woman feels pressure to communicate with me. She has to. We have to understand that the woman lives outside the rules a lot of times. They like to, a lot of times, go against the grain, take a lot of different risks. So if you understand that that's just the general nature of women, to kind of be rebellious in a sense, you have to play into the rebelliousness when you're dealing with her. But at the same time, you still got the guidelines and the parameters. So I would say that that's initially how I'm setting up that and leading up to that particular reward. And it's gonna be something fun. I mean, typically, I like doing, just different type of games. I like to do different things that are just require, just a lot more activity for me personally. And then from there, we can just continue to build, man. And then we look forward to it. We get into that setting, and then we go from there.
How long do you stay consistently inconsistent?
The more that a woman shows you that she's interested,
To the courting phase.
yeah,
To the courting phase?
the woman gonna invest.
To the courting phase.
Because that's gonna let you weed them out too.
But shouldn't there be I think that kind of level during a dating phase though?
What you mean?
Like
Like a level of consistency?
there should be a level of consistent inconsistency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you start to move from being inconsistently consistent to consistent.
So
So you just full blown consistent.
I'm talking about like inconsistently. No, shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like what you just described, right?
Yeah.
To me, what it sounds like is just that I want you to miss me a little bit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I
Yes.
feel like a lot of issues, especially when you get into like a serious relationship, that miss me factor goes away. So my question is, for the people who are have been dating with their
Yeah.
partner for a minute, how
Yeah.
can you keep that at a healthy pace? What would you say that is? How would you do that?
I do it. I've implemented this in all of my relationships ever since high school. So I learned this because we were around each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like we lived together.
Bro.
We would go to school together. It was to the point to where the woman, she would say that she wants you in her skin and she loves you, but at to a point it's like, I need some space.
Bro, when you talk about ick,
Yeah.
like the irks man, I hate when women say that shit.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I just want you in my, like, I just want to
want
be
you
up
in
on
my-
you all the time.
yeah. Bro, yes.
Like, leave me alone, bro.
Yeah,
Like, please,
yeah,
just, like, give me some space, bro. Like,
And to be honest with you, it wasn't even that it was intentional when I was doing it. It was just that I found other things to do. So I was in a band. I was in different activities, and so it forced me to.
that's their business.
That's the key.
And it wasn't even that I was trying to do it. It was just like I don't have time for this. I have to focus on X, Y, Z. And so by having different priorities and different focus points, it allowed me to sort of shift that monotony up, because that's another thing, because marriage does not mean that there needs to be a monotonous rapport of consistent repetition where you're not giving that woman any type of excitement. Because that even plays into like the idea of why certain types of women, they may prefer certain type of guys because they believe that they're getting a certain level of excitement. It's incumbent upon us as men to make sure that, we're naturally staying engaging and staying exciting with our own day-to-day routine. Yes, of course, you got your fundamentals. Like we talked about basketball earlier. Okay, you got Kobe, LeBron. They do certain fundamentals all the time. We get it. But then when you get in the game, I'm gonna do a little side. I'm gonna do a little switch. I'm gonna do a little pop and pick.
The fuck you, where he looks at the ball and then shoots it.
Let me not even get you started. But yeah, no. But on a serious tip, I think it's important for us as men to create the excitement in that woman, not necessarily in that woman's life, but just in what we have going on, and then she's gonna be excited by it. And then again, going back to the reward system, it's like it's certain things that a woman may do when she shows you she invested. Hey man, you might take her on a helicopter ride. You might fly her out the country, and you're not feeling any type of weight. Because I think the main premise with us as men is for us not to feel as if we're being taken advantage of, whether that's financially or anything else of the sort.
Emotionally,
Like you like, damn, I paid for this, I flew you out, I did this, and da 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 da. But a lot of that really comes to that woman understanding what looks like love to you, because that woman, she may not have a bad like that. If she's younger, she might be in her early 20s. We already know she might not have the bag in that particular way, but we might have it, right? So we may pay for the trip to Miami. We may go to the one hotel. We may pay for the hotel. But what ends up happening is that when that woman is like, let me organize your bag. I picked this out. I saw this. I picked up this shirt. And even though the shirt may have been $30, $40, it was the fact that she was still contributing in that way. So as long as a woman doing that, I don't think that none of us is really, we don't really have an issue with exchanging and that, Yeah. That's how it would play out, bro.
I like that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I agree, like the whole keeping shit.
Just keeping it.
I mean, we're in an era where you have to have people have to know things. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to know where you're at, what you're doing. Like you said, right? Like you live with your girl. You went to work with your girl. Like
it was like hold up.
It's like, dude. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And even to a point where it's like, okay, I go to work. I can't even know about your day because you telling me about your day while you at work. So like, where's the excitement at? There's no excitement at that point in anything. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah. And don't let your woman think you too predictable. She need to know your mannerisms, like I know you like your steak sliced this way, or I know that you like your stuff ironed or whatever, but switch it up. Because the moment that a woman thinks she got you figured out, you already lost, because a woman likes to be a student at all times. Going back to the concept of earning your keep. That's why she like to go to how many women, they love degrees. They love degrees. They love learning. So your woman has to constantly feel and think that she is learning you. Even though she's like, okay, I understand this is school, right? I understand that I'm, okay, Low like this, Jay like this, Mike like this, okay, he like this. But, dang, I ain't know you, you do dirt bike ride too? Oh, you journal too? Like they just see you do, you start adding that in, you doing karate, whatever it is, man, it's just just make sure your woman is always learning and that you always have wisdom to impart onto the woman. And that's another thing too, man. If you don't have any wisdom, you should not be engaging in a serious relationship dynamic because you don't have nothing to impart onto that woman. So you're not able to teach her anything, you know, whether that's from your lifestyle, how you live in, or anything of the sort. And that's another aspect, you know, that doesn't really get touched on, but that's very important because a lot of women will say they may think that the money, like some guys may think it's just about the money, but it's if that was the case, Jeff, Bill Gates, all these different individuals, a lot of these actors, entertainers, these athletes that make millions of dollars, it's not about the money. Sometimes it's about the fact that you're not imparting anything onto that woman that's leading to a value in which she's growing.
Yeah, I think just like a lot of people, you got to be intellectually stimulated. Like,
Yeah.
Especially women.
One thing I can say or add, we never tapped in on emotional intelligence, have we?
Oh, we didn't really dive in that, though.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there, especially when it comes to flags.
Okay.
But I mean, reporter, what you were saying, really, pretty much it starts with you.
Yeah.
It starts with you. So it's like, as a man out here, young man out here trying to grow and become something, that's what you're supposed to be doing first. Growing and becoming something.
Right.
Everything else
You can have something to talk about.
is additional. Everything else is like an accessory being added to the piece. You know what I mean? If you're not constantly focusing on your better, there's no reason for you to even be dealing with anybody. For real. And then if you are active and you're intentional with your better, then if they're not able to respect how you hold yourself to a high esteem, that's a sign right there for you to just move on from them. Because sometimes we gotta go on the other side of the spectrum. Sometimes you can be too great for them. You could be a big fish in a small pond when you come into contact with somebody else that you may feel. Of course, we're only going by, we have the sense of sight. So of course we're going off of physical attraction. Okay, you fine. You got some things about yourself that I like. I like what I'm seeing. So far I'm hearing about your background. You are educated, you are professional, cool, but all that's still on the surface. Once we get underneath that, and I'm starting to impart my wisdom, my lifestyle, my intentions, my purpose, and then you ain't giving me shit to work with,
Out of there.
Nah, that's
Get out of there.
That's a fact.
if many of us as men have made concessions because that ass fat.
That's a fact.
Many of us as men
That's a
have
fact.
made concessions because
That's a
them
fact.
cheekbones, them dimples,
It did something to me.
and that ass is fat. And sometimes that throws us off of us being inconsistent
Stay strong,
with
brothers.
our consistency. That throws us off too. Sometimes the adrenaline and just the testosterone gets pumping. We start thinking about things, and next thing you know, we hitting you up a little bit more than we need to.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to push that trip a little bit more than we have to.
Mm-hmm.
And we find ourselves in a space where we lost sight of where we were on our own track. And then we get upset, fast forward, when they take us for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Or they never understood our purpose and our value.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we be short-sighted and underestimating and undervaluing ourselves, and they treat us as such too.
Right.
And then also we find ourselves in positions where, all right, you good, you arm candy, I'm still living my life, I'm still doing my thing, I'm still on my business, my purpose. You my arm candy, you somebody I'm entertaining and getting acquainted with, and vice versa. And we already read the tea leaves and know we better than that situation. We already know we better than that situation. But you came into my orbit, so I'm gonna entertain you for the time. We also have to learn how to exercise that level of discipline with ourselves too. Mm-hmm. Because just as much as they, as women may like that inconsistency because it keeps them on their toes on this reward system, we need to hold ourselves in that same standard too. Because if we find ourselves already getting bored and already out of sync with shorty, that should be the time for us to get out of there too, because it's only a matter of time before that distraction becomes an impediment on your growth, and you don't want to risk that either. So it's all about weighing as we go out into the world what our intentions are when we are meeting folks, because we could be in the space where we do just want just a little short-term companion, you know what I'm saying, gaining the friendship, you know what I'm saying, we may want somebody to hold at night, or we may want something more than that. We tend to know exactly what we're going into. It's just up to us to continue to first maintain our sense of self-respect and be sure we continuously being consistent in maintaining our self-respect, because the longer you do that, the sooner reality strikes of whether that person should even be in your circle to begin with, which leads to the flags and how we need to take advantage and complete personal audits of those we engaging with. I call it a personal audit.
Shout out to the flags.
You do a personal audit of the folks you're engaging with, and you're sitting here saying, I like old girl. She's green. Or, the other one, man, she's too toxic for me. I got to cut off. She's in the black. Low?
Break down the flags, bro.
Okay, so we got the green flag. Green means she on go. Everything's good.
Everything's going. It's green.
I'm vibing with her. I like her. She damn near. She on the right path to be cuffable. All right.
You hear that?
Shout out to the green.
You hear that? If you want to be cuffed,
Shout out to the green.
You gotta
gang.
say in that green.
you don't want to. You got to. Before you go on, it's like when you go to your teacher in class, you ask what your grade is.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the students who got a high level of confidence and they borderline cocky and they asking for their grade and they get disappointed that they got a C.
Yeah.
But the ones who've been humble, focusing on them, valuing your time, valuing what they can contribute, and knowing their part and playing their position and appreciating the time, those are the ones who tend to be A students.
Can you repeat that?
Those are the ones who tend to be green. So, what?
Can you repeat that one more time, bro? I like that.
Repeat that analogy?
Yeah, do that one more time, the last part.
So as we talking about, okay, green is on go, that means you're on track to be cuffable, meaning you're on track to be becoming courted and on track to be in a relationship. A lot of the women who may be listening to this, some of those who may be engaging with now are probably asking themselves, what color and flag am I? Be careful.
Don't ask me.
Be careful for what you're asking for, because you may find yourself not on the green. And be prepared for the evaluation as well. And that's on both sides. Because a lot of us as guys, we let our ego play us out of position. And the same goes for women. They let their ego play them out of position because they ass fat and they got lashes and they got however many thousand followers and they got how much bread. They tend to think that is going to be good enough to leverage. No, it's not. No, it is not. Are you mature? Okay, first and foremost, how about that? Do you have a sense of self-respect? You're not jeopardizing yourself just for some short-term gain. Self-respect. Do you also have the sense in which you are actively consistent, communicative, and you understand when you engage in conversations with this person? If you're not doing that, you damn sure ain't green. Continue, brother.
And then after the green, ladies and gentlemen, we have the orange.
Okay, yellow.
Yeah, yellow, then orange.
Yellow, then orange. Yeah.
All right, we got the yellow.
Yellow's first? Oh, yeah, because that's a
Yellow's
light.
for
That's
orange.
light.
Yeah. So we got the yellow. And with the yellow, you're not doing
It's
bad.
a warning. It's just a warning.
You're not doing bad, but you got some things about you that is questionable. You did something that was inconsistent that rubbed me the wrong way. But we're not really too deep within the situation, so I'm not even gonna really get in my feels about it. But being in the yellow is like some things is noted.
Can you break down an example of yellow for the people listening?
Being inconsistent. You might have did something I didn't like, i.e., you might have said, "Oh, I'm gonna call you back." You didn't call me back. Like I'm big, for me personally, I'm big on your word. If you say you're gonna call me back, motherfucker, call me back. And if you're not gonna call me back, text me, be like, hey, I got caught up in this. We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to chat another time.
You got about 12 hours from that initial moment of you
Such
saying.
a long time.
If I go to sleep and wake back up,
That's a great. That's a great.
They said,
that's a great
hey,
time.
they're gonna hit you up at
Right.
they talking to you at 4:00 in the afternoon.
You ain't calling me at 4 a.m.
you're not.
I
Right,
know,
right.
but I'm just saying you got a text message.
go
That's
to
a window.
That's
Right.
true. That's true. That's true. I like that. That's a good window.
From
That's
4 to
a
4,
great window.
from
size.
5 to 5, from
There's no
6 to
excuses
6.
at that point.
If you ain't give me a text back or a call,
12 hours? Yeah, that's a great time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that, yeah. That's yellow flag vibes. And then after yellow flag, we got the orange. Orange is, hey baby girl,
gotta tighten up.
you gotta tighten up. You doing a lot of things I ain't liking. You giving me some bad vibes, giving me some toxic behavior. But that ass fat and I like you.
I'm gonna keep you around.
I'm gonna keep you around for now.
around for now.
Still
But
gonna
best believe you no longer priority though.
Okay. So she falls out of priority.
She automatically falls out of
Orange,
priority.
you're in probation.
Yeah,
You're
you're in probation.
So now we're back to
inconsistently.
Okay. All right.
You're going more
Okay.
inconsistent.
You're going more
Got you.
inconsistent.
We're bringing you back to that phase because
Correct.
obviously you don't know what
Right.
who the fuck.
Who the fuck you dealing with?
Okay, got you.
You ain't real and recognize real. You ain't seen the worth. And what I'm trying to bring to the table
probation.
and that wisdom and experience that I'm trying to give to you.
Are y'all writing this down?
Orange is the new black. You're on probation.
Okay. Hope you guys are writing this down.
And then, unfortunately, we got that red. Your ass is fried. Fried motherfucking turkey.
Fried.
If you in the red,
You hanging.
You got one chance. You got one
hanging by a
chance.
thread.
You got one chance.
You hanging on the edge of the cliff like this with the two fingers.
My God.
With the two fingers, you
deep, though?
hanging off the edge.
How
If you
deep?
on
If you red,
red.
you hanging on the edge. That's a rhyme. You on red, you on the edge.
you on the edge.
That's it. You got one more, you got to go where? You got
Black. And once you get to black, you've been Spartan kick, 300 style.
Ain't no coming back.
That's what we mean. You on the edge.
You in the black, you ain't coming back.
You ain't coming back. From the
Black ain't coming back.
Black ain't
Hell
coming
nah.
back.
And if the black come back, it's gray. We're gonna throw gray in there because at this point, bitch, you friend zone.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I see you, I see you.
Yeah, I see you, I
I'm not
see
making
you.
no pressure to come
No.
post up on you.
Always respect.
That means any
Yeah, I'm
initiation
always-
is always gonna come from you. It's not gonna come from me.
Okay, so like the best example for that would probably be like you going out of town. You're in a town that the chick lives in. She sees that you're in town. It's like, hey, let's catch dinner. It's like, okay,
Maybe.
maybe.
And then honestly,
maybe.
for me, I'm gonna intentionally dub it the first time. You
Okay.
gonna have to catch me on the next one.
Okay,
Got to earn it.
You gotta earn that.
okay. So she got so black flag. Nobody can put enough work to get back to the green.
No.
Because when you in the black,
What's the highest you can go after black?
when you in the black, you already know you there.
Yeah.
You know you there, we know you there, you there. And you just hitting them up on that initial time is not going to cut it.
It's not.
You have to earn your way back. And the way in which you earn your way back, you're going to have to go yourself to black, to red, to orange, to
Always
yellow,
still.
to green.
That mean you on your shit.
That means
so you
And 9 times out of 10, women ain't ever gonna apply such pressure.
they're not going to do all that. They're
They're
not going to do too much.
Because she didn't do it in the beginning.
They're
There's no
not.
way that she would do it now.
No.
I agree with that. You're right.
Think about it.
You're right. I couldn't even. I was thinking about. I was like, okay, you're right.
Think
There's
about
no way,
it,
bro.
Think about it,
funny.
man. If you in the black, there ain't no reason for you to come back.
No.
No reason for you to
They
be
only
back.
gonna do one act of forgiveness.
That's it.
That's it.
They're gonna apologize, maybe.
Take you out.
Barely.
If it's
Take
sincere.
you out, cater to
barely
you,
apology.
woo
Maybe.
the woo, and expect to be automatically.
Oh man, I hate that shit.
But the apology, everything's supposed to be straight out that.
Oh.
Bro, oh my God. Like, you ain't put no work in, girl. Like,
Oh, but they can sulk all damn day. Hold your feet to the fire for however long about that little one mistake you made.
oh, you did this. It's like, okay, I understand.
They get upset.
I came up,
They get you upset.
I've apologized.
You gotta get over it.
taking responsibility, I moved on.
You gotta be a man and let it go when they do.
That's the worst one right there. You ever had, or the ones that hit you with the You know what's crazy? I even put them in a category based upon their responses about like, you know, how I'm feeling, right? Disrespected. So like you coming to them with the, let me ask you a question. So if you're coming to them with the conversation, because you said at Orange we're having a conversation, right?
Orange
Yellow you still straight, but Orange you having a conversation. Mm-hmm. So have you ever got that conversation at the Orange mark and then you just immediately delved into Black based upon the response?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That's going to show the level of maturity, emotional intelligence, empathy.
I agree with that.
All that.
Because action, because
understanding,
right? Because action has to is when you're in the hole and you need to come back up. Mm-hmm. Talking to me is like when you're up, but you can go down based upon that conversation.
Mm-hmm. That's a good place to be when you're in the yellow. When you're yellow, that's a good time to be like, hey, look, you know, you got a couple warning signs. You know, yellow tends to be warning, so I got a couple warning signs. Let's tap in about that.
Yeah, yellow, you starting to ask questions.
I'm open, I'm flexible.
That's where them deep conversations come from. You learn about the traumas now. We talking about, okay, I can see you this. You have abandonment issues. Ooh. You have daddy issues. How's your family dynamic? Do you know your father?
Gotta work on our inner child.
Yeah. So we digging deep. And then based on what I learned, they always say, oh, don't judge me, but
I'm judging you.
I'm judging you.
I'm judging you if you hesitate.
Yeah.
If you hesitate on disclosing,
especially
like, I can only speak for myself, right? I'm a nigga, you know, been to therapy several times and shit, you know, graduated from that. Also somebody who, as we're gonna close this out, talking about me being a high level of emotional intelligence. So if you come to me, and I know for a fact that we as imperfect people have imperfect lives and have lived imperfect lives with imperfect pasts, you need to be able to disclose that. And if you're not able to disclose that, because you're afraid of me judging you, or you're afraid of how that's going to affect your potential success with me in the future, then you've already lost.
Yep. You're really just setting yourself up for failure. Because I'm gonna find out your actions and how you react is gonna show me everything I need.
You've already lost.
Like to the,
because again, you gotta think about it. It's not about me. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. Yes, I may be attractive. I may have things going for myself, and you the same. But it's not about me. I mean, it's not about me. It's about you seeking your better. And if you're not actively seeking your better, it's clear when I ask you questions about your upbringing.
I love this.
I ask you questions about the certain things that you're asking me about. I'm reciprocating and asking you. And if you hesitate, or if you say we'll get to that later with a side eye, or whatever the mannerisms they be doing when they try to avoid shit,
I'm not comfortable.
You got to pick up on that.
Not right now.
You have to pick up on that. And depending on how they respond, or depending on how they step up and rise to the occasion or not, will determine not only where they are on the terms of the flag spectrum, but also back to the flag spectrum, determining whether they even are within earshot.
Flag worthiness.
Within an earshot of even being someone you even want to take seriously to date and like court and be in a relationship with. So if you ain't checking yourself at the door, if you ain't checking your securities, your ego, your fear, and all that shit at the door, you automatically gonna be in the orange. You gonna find yourself in the black by just treating me the thing as if. That's another thing too. You know when you go through shit, you go through people who go through shit, and then you happen to be somebody that unintentionally exposes them on their insecurities or their imperfections, and they want to treat you like an anomaly. Like you the only one who sees through all that bullshit, and I'm a move on from you and continue about my business. I'm gonna move on from this situation that just challenged me to be better, because I ain't got time for that. They on some other shit.
Run.
They go on.
They run.
Exactly. Hey, you find yourself in the orange, red, and black just like that too. If you're not willing to step up and take accountability, which something we're gonna talk about in the next episode, we're gonna take accountability and value yourself in a high esteem in that way, like. RIP to the man Kevin Samuels. He said relationships are reflective. So if I'm coming into space with a high level of emotional intelligence, that's already the bar. Not how many degrees I got, not how much money I got. See, that's what we do in this. That's what we do in this country. That's what this country done to us, nigga. I'm gonna say that shit a lot. My sociologist ass. I'm gonna keep saying that shit. That's what this country has done to us. Niggas have prioritized. We as people have prioritized material over our own spirits, over our own bodies, over our own minds. We've prioritized material. We say, okay, as long as I got this, I'm successful. As long as I got this, I should live till I'm 80. As long as I got this, I should be an eligible bachelor. As long as I got this, who wouldn't want to make me a wife? I'm sorry. It don't matter how many followers you got. It don't matter how fat your ass is. It don't matter how them dimples, them cheekbones, money, the degrees, who your daddy is, all that. It don't matter. You will find yourself by yourself. You will find yourself miserable.
The same pattern.
Divorcee or in a toxic ass situation because you refuse to do, again, your own personal work. Outside of anything else, you refuse to do your own personal work, and you just thought everybody just supposed to let you go on about your business, and you're not supposed to be held accountable to that. You're sorely mistaken, and you will find your ass in the black with me.
That's all.
Fried.
What's the I know Lo said communication is big on him. What's the thing that can get somebody from
I need all three, bro. Man.
Yeah, I say
To get
I
somebody
need all
from black to green?
no, vice versa. From green to not green, from yellow to let's say orange. Like what's something that you'd be like, hey, listen, I gotta put you to the side real quick. What's that one thing for you?
Our first debate and how you react with it.
Oh, first disagreement.
First
First
disagreement?
disagreement.
Like how you like respond.
Respond.
In a conversation,
Can we agree to disagree, or can we understand and resolve the issue? And we both may apologize if needed.
If both is still good for you, right? If you can agree to disagree, or if you can come to a understanding. Right. Okay. What about you, Lodge?
I think disrespect.
Disrespect. All right. So disrespect is weird to me.
You on red.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
No, like so. What's disrespect to you? Just I've heard the craziest things of disrespect.
You say crazy things. What you mean?
No, like I've heard somebody say like, "Oh, you disrespected me because, you didn't eat my food, and I love cooking." You know what I'm saying? That's just disrespect to me. Like in some countries, you don't eat the food that's prepared for you. It's disrespect. So I'm saying like, what's your definition of disrespect?
Disrespect to me is not honoring me in the regard that I am, which means that you have failed to recognize the value of the inner God in me. And so, for example, I've always understood, and this is me personally, this is my personal opinion, I've always understood that women know how to address you depending on positioning. So, for example, when she's talking to the doctor, there's a certain regard in which she's speaking to the doctor.
Talk your shit,
When
Liza.
she's talking to the pastor,
exactly
there's a
what
certain
you
regard that she's speaking to the pastor. When she's talking to a professor, there's a certain regard that she's speaking to a pastor. When she's talking to her employer, i.e. the person that she may call her boss, there's a certain regard in which she's speaking to that person. She may get dressed a certain way. She's going to be there at a certain time. She's going to make sure that these tasks and these activities are done. So there's so much that's going into this woman preparing for this particular person that's in this position. And now I have to assess who you are in your regard to me and our dynamic. And that's why I always understood that with whatever the woman that's with me for the long term, into infinity and beyond, I always understood that at some capacity, for the most part, whatever her passion is, it had to fit into how I can create that to where she's working with me. Because I understood that a woman who has to call another man boss, or those work husbands, or treating him in that certain regard, that could potentially be an unnecessary conflict that I don't want to deal with. That I rather proactively nip it in the bud right now and not even put myself in that situation. But I understand that with my law firm, okay, your business degree, your accounting, your finance, what you do with taxes, or let's say you're an entertainer, maybe you're a professional dancer, and so you might have an agency that I can help you structure and I can help you set that up. Like, I understand that there needs to be a symbiotic relationship with whatever your passion is in order for it to work for me, because I have to be in that position. Women struggle with distinguishing. And that's why you see so many women who go to marriage counseling with pastors and then they end up sleeping with the pastor. It happens all the time. That's why you have women in their workplace environment knowing that that man that is their boss or that is their supervisor has been hitting on them, has been flirting with them, has been disrespecting their relationships, and they accept it. It's a positioning. So if you nip it in the bud and you say this is the position from the beginning, or you say, okay, this is what we building or this is what we working into, it changes the whole dynamic.
And it goes right back
it changes
to,
the
it
whole
goes
dynamic,
right
bro.
back
It
to
changes
my point. If you do not exercise a high level of self-respect for yourself, there's no way you're going to be able to do it for anybody else.
Oh.
Straight up.
Shut up.
That's what ended my last relationship.
Shut up.
Compromising your self-respect. You find yourself by yourself. Because you disrespect, when you disrespect, it goes the perfect definition, Porter. Like you disregard the power that is in me and my love of myself and God and my purpose in that. The light in which I emit from holding myself to a level of self-respect enough to respect you. To whereas you see how it is done, therefore it can be easily reciprocated. But if you don't know what and how to find and garner that respect for yourself when you find yourself in compromising positions and you still are questioning whether you should choose yourself or that boss or that flirty work husband or that flirty pastor too, because the pastor do the same too. They come into that too. They receive it and they give it too. If you cannot discern that, which is so simple, then you found yourself not only disrespecting yourself, but everybody else who's tethered to you, everyone else who's tied to you. Because what kind of, first, it's not even about the presidents you said. It's just also talking about just thinking about over the course of your life that led you to this point. At what point did you not nip that shit in the bud? At what point did you not address it when you knew it was problematic? And it's not just in the area of infidelity. It's not just in the area of that. It's also talking about the way in which folks, self-harm, the way in which folks harm others in the form of abuse, verbal, emotional, physical, sexual abuse. You got to think about that. If folks are engaging in these deleterious, negative, regressive acts, that means they are already folks who are already disregarding and disrespecting themselves. They never held themselves to a standard in which they believe and deserve to be in a healthy space to then give others what they need and they deserve for them to remain in a healthy space with you.
Be sure to subscribe.
Real talk.
Be sure to subscribe, man.
You should hit that subscribe button, man.
I'm loving this conversation.
I told y'all, I've been telling y'all season 3 on the way. I've been trying to tell y'all.
Bro, everything you said built up to men's discernment and where it really rubber meets the road. I see men struggle with this so often. They make the fun girl the one girl. All the time. They make the fun girl. Because I've been in certain situations and circumstances where she was the fun girl to every other nigga. Right? She never got that relationship that she wanted. She was the fun girl. Even though you may view her in whatever this capacity is, there's a lot of damage that is there. All right? And a lot of times that woman may not have reconciled or dealt with, as you mentioned, she hasn't done the self-work. And she sees you as the man that you are, and she wants that because she knows that you're going to give her that validation of that relationship. And it may work.
I can admit I fell victim to that.
Yeah, I've been
we've all fell victim to that.
And so you, in essence, you have put the fun girl as the one girl, and then she doesn't even know how to
be that girl.
She's never done it. So now you starting from the ground up. But she still got fun girl ways. It's in her character. It's in her being at that point. You know what I mean?
Everything y'all said, I agree.
It's crazy.
And it's not to say that they cannot become
right over time. Sometimes.
Are you willing to put in that work?
But they gotta be willing.
That's it right there, though. Because at some age or at some point, bro, you gotta really be like, you know what, bro? There's a certain level where I'm just like, I'm not even dealing with that no more.
Yeah.
Like I'm at a level right now where it's like, I'm not. Call Jesus. Call God.
I went through that. I went through that in my 20s.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm 30.
Bro,
I'm glad once I broke
it
out of
stopped in
that.
my 30s, bro.
I'm glad once I broke out of that, I turned 30.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Fun girl, that's the one
Because
girl.
you just gotta,
But
you gotta let them be who they are in that time. But if you are of someone of the right mind and you're engaging with someone who is not of theirs, then you can go left.
and that can actually come onto you too. You can take on that energy and take on that spirit. Straight up.
Now that is a fact.
And
Now,
put
we don't
yourself-
talk about spiritual transfer.
And put,
Now,
your-
that-
and
now
put
that's a
yourself
fact.
and put yourself back
That's a
because
fact.
like that, why do you think people say misery love company?
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And you guys ever dealt with the what do they call them? Energy leech?
Yes.
Whereas like, you know, they know the type of man you are, and it's like, oh, I just want to be around you. Oh, I just want to, you know, do this and that with you. And then, like you said, if you don't have that discernment of like, you know what, I need to pivot because
for my best interest, or she just for my use?
correct. Is she using me for like the idea of me, or is she using me for like Michael, like demand, like, you know, who I am? Because if she's using me for not using me, but if she's loving me for who I am, then she's gonna, like you said,
Treat you with respect.
treat you with respect. That self-work, she's gonna do her thing, all the other stuff. But if she's not,
That requires, again, that person.
No, for real.
That again
for real.
requires that person to have the level of self-awareness. You got to build on emotional intelligence, but self-awareness, discernment, self-respect, and emotional intelligence. If you do not have that, you will not be able to support anyone because you have yet to even start the fundamental building blocks for yourself.